Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars Titanium series TIE Interceptor released in 2006. This ship was first seen in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So I thought it would be cool to look at one of these older ships / toys before looking hardcore into the new Last Jedi / Mandalorian merchandise. This video should be up the first week in October, so hopefully future me could get out there Friday and find all that new stuff for all you guys. Now looking back at this ship, for its size, it's a little over 2.5 inches long. So last week my question I asked all of you was, for how long are creatures swallowed by the Sarlacc digested? And Blaine Hoover answered it right. The answer was 1,000 years. So awesome job, Blaine. We'll have a new question at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Everybody should know how my videos go by now. We're going to take a look at the mold, the paint, put it on the stand, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, let's get this video started looking at the mold. Like in all my videos, I will go over all the major sections of the item, and we'll get a nice close-up look to see all those fine details. So up first, we have our cockpit. Looking pretty good, nicely detailed around it, some line work and modules, laser cannons on the bottom, not painted, our transparisteel viewport, the windows are recessed in, a little iffy with the paint, but it looks good. On the top, we have our cockpit hatch, looking good. In the back, we have our ion engines, reactor, as well as an aft window. Looking dope. On the bottom, we have a peg port for our stand, and 2 screws on the pylons, which look pretty good. We have a seam line running through, but I've seen worse. Oh no, not too bad. Finally, we have the solar array panel wings, and they look pretty good. Nicely detailed. We have our wing brace, or power converter, whatever you want to call that piece, depending on what data you read. Here we have sensors, and then we have our 4 wing blaster cannons. Pretty dope, nicely detailed. Now in the aft section here, we have 2 little triangles that protrude out. I have no clue where these come from. If somebody knows or has any information on the TIE Interceptor with little teeth on the back, please let me know in the comments below. Now for the interiors, they are also very detailed with some braces and these solar panels. Looking great. Pretty dope. So that does it for all the major parts of the ship. So now let's get a close-up look. Alright, for the close-up, I'm not going to spend too much time on this ship since I already did review this particular mold with Baron Fell's TIE Interceptor. Regardless, it is a nice piece, so let's have a quick look. We'll begin with the solar array wing, and it looks fantastic. Now both wings are similar, they're basically symmetrical, so we're just going to cover one wing very good, and then move on to the center of the ship with the pylons. So, we have our paneling, which is done very nice. As you can see, it has a nice waffle formation. You can see the light reflecting off all those little raised sections. Just very nice in my opinion. Really cool. Now, you may notice a little paint chipping here and there. This fighter is always a little expensive on eBay, and I got this in a lot used, so I'm very thankful for that. But it does have some wear and tear on it. Now, around each one of these panels, it is raised, as you can see. Nothing is flat on this wing at all. It has tons of raised sections. Beautiful stuff. Little modules and details spread throughout. And I love the little hoses and pipes. Some great stuff, especially in the front here. Next to the wing brace, which looks very nice, very detailed. And you can see that raised section go all the way down, looking good, and all the way up. And quickly you can see some raised sections coming down the wing as well. Pretty nice stuff in my opinion. And now looking at the interiors of the wings, we'll begin with the sensor section, which is done magnificently. I love this piece. Very nicely molded, in my opinion. It looks pretty cool. And then we have the interior, which, look at that molding, especially around the pylon. Nice raised sections. beautiful stuff. We also have some pipes coming down here. Beautiful work, especially on the top as well. Fantastic. Our wing brace goes up and down here. Pretty cool. Now check out the aft section here. Look at all this stuff. This is magnificent. Now if this had blackwash, all this stuff would pop, and it looks amazing. And again, you can see how around those panels it is boxed in and raised. Nothing is flat here. Just an amazing job. Beautiful. Still don't know what these teeth are, but what are you going to do? Now the rest of the wing is similar to what we saw. We do have some raised sections here and there, as well as the paneling, which has that same waffle type detailing. I like it. I think it looks good. Now on this part, we do have copyright crap, 2006. Nice paneling again. Some raised sections on the wings. And then in the front, we have our laser cannons here, or I should say blaster cannons. Little paint wear, but not too bad. And then for the top wing, well, I guess we could say the top section of the wing, it does have that nice detailing, the same as the bottom. Fantastic stuff. Again, a little paint wear right here, but not bad. Not bad at all. Especially for being over 10 years old. Some great stuff. So now let's take a look at the main body. And now quickly looking at the main body, we have our pylons, which look very nice. We can see some beautiful mold in here. Maybe not the best, but for over 10 years ago, I think it looks pretty good. Sure, it has that seam line that goes right through the main body, but I have seen worse with that. Now for the sections on the main body, we do have our ion engines, our reactor, and aft window. And we can see some nice lines here. The paint's kind of heavy, so it covers most of it up, but there is some nice raised sections, lines, and different molding bits here and there. Coming to the top of the vessel, again, the pylons look amazing. I love the detail in here. Fantastic stuff, and that's the same on both sides. For the top of the vessel, we have our cockpit hatch. We can see the 4 windows and nice molding around. We have our 4 little raised sections that are painted red. Kind of chipped here and sloppy at points, but not too bad from a distance. And I do like the molding on the left and right side of the ship. So now let's turn this bad boy to the front. We could have a nice look at this. Now we can see some beautiful detailing around. And there's some lines. We have our laser cannons down here. Some little raised sections here and there. But as I mentioned, the paint on here sort of rounded over all the details, and they sort of get lost or watered down if you look at them. But they are there. As you can see, we have some lines, little layers there, some nice shapes. Beautiful stuff, especially on the pylons. Magnificent stuff. Really neat. Now, one part on here that really icks me is the transparisteel viewport. Mold-wise, it's fantastic. We have our windows that are recessed in, as you can see right here. And then we have our raised supports. The paint on here, even though it is good, it is not positioned correctly. It's a little lopsided. Oh, if it was just moved a little to the right-hand side while you're left, it would have been perfect. But I guess it is what it is. Detailed beautifully. Recessed windows, fantastic stuff. On the bottom, we have 2 screws holding it together. Peg port for the stand, some nice molding on the pylons. Looking good. And I like how they mold it on the screw holes as well. Pretty interesting. And then we have our base section down here. Looking good, some nice raised sections. Nice stuff. And that's everything I have to say about the mold. On the whole, I think it's a beautiful ship, nicely detailed, and I think the Titanium series did a beautiful job at bringing this ship to life. I know I said I was going to go through it quickly, and I tried my best, but even though this is a tiny ship, it's filled with little details that most people don't even think to look at, especially the aft section of the wings. and the watered down detailing around the cockpit. Beautiful stuff. So now, let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at that paint on a Titanium Series TIE Interceptor, we have 4 different colors here. First color up is the main color, which is a nice blue. Very accurate to the film. I think it came out great. That's located on the wings, pylons, and the cockpit. And I do like that blue. I think it came out really good. It's a little lighter on my camera, but trust me, it looks pretty decent. Now the next color we have is black, and that's seen on these solar array panels on the wings. Looking good. The aft section right here for the window, and the interiors of the wings. Looking pretty good. Nice and clean too for the most part. Sure, it's a little off here and there, but nothing bleeds into something it's not supposed to. So that's always a win with these things. Next we have glossy black for the transparent steel viewport. And you can see it's a little messed up there, but it's not too bad, I guess, for the size of this thing. But pretty cool, and it does reflect light, as you can see. That black is also right here on the top for the cockpit hatch. So that's looking good. And finally, we have red on the top and aft section of the cockpit. And I think that's it. I don't think it's on the laser cannons at all, no. So that basically does it. So that does it for the paint. Is it perfect? It's hit or miss, especially when it comes to the alignment of the paint in the front. But on the whole, I'm very happy with this piece. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And just like other Titanium Series ships, you get this cool stand, very reminiscent of an Action Fleet stand. Pegging in the port like so. And just like that, everybody, you're good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Titanium Series TIE Interceptor seen in the center. First up, on the right-hand side, we have Jango Fett's Slave 1. And finally, on the left-hand side, we have the Republic Y-Wing fighter. Very awesome ship, and we'll be looking at these two very soon. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Titanium Series TIE Interceptor released in 2006. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I love the Star Wars Titanium Series line. It's the brand that started my channel. And to finally have a TIE Interceptor in my collection, I love it. I'm really happy about that. With this ship, it has a beautiful mold. I don't know what the little triangles are in the back of the wings. Again, if you guys know, let me know in the comments below. The paint, again, in my opinion, it's a win. I think if they put a little tiny bit of black wash on this to really make those details pop, it would have looked a little bit better. But I'm very happy, even though it is a little sloppy in the transparent steel viewport. And you can't forget, it does come with that cool Action Fleet type stand. Now, before we go, another question for all of you at home. Who was Red Leader during the Battle of Endor? If you know, let me know in the comments below. So that's everything I have to say about this beautiful ship today. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.